girls, if a guy ever says, "I like your vibe," and
I
that's
like
the
your
first
vibe.
compliment,
Yeah.
that's not a good scenario for you.
That's like when they talk about a white player in the NFL and they're like, he's got a lot of heart.
He
They're like,
gives it
he might not be
110%.
yeah, he might not be athletic, but he's got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Was it Cincinnati who did the balloon thing? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, they killed a bunch
Where
of people.
they released like the world's largest amount of balloons in the. What year was that? I mean, think about how stupid we were just 20 years ago. I mean, how many years ago was that? I gotta look that up. They released like millions of balloons into the atmosphere, and then they all popped and went in the river. It was Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, like I think if I remember, some guy drowned in the river or the lake, and they're like, we can't find him. There's like, we had no idea he was drowning. There's tons of balloons just floating in the water. He could be screaming for help, and we'll never see him in this ocean of balloons.
It was 86 in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, how dumb were you in 86? Like, no one was like, hey, maybe this is a bad idea.
Where do these balloons go?
No, they just go into this atmosphere and they disappear.
Yeah.
They're like,
they float up to space, and when they get to the sun, they burn up, you idiot.
Yeah, you fucking ass, dude. 86!
Yeah. They're just bullying the one guy that says it's a bad idea. Like, shut the fuck up, Gary.
Dude, that's what they did in Woodstock 99.
There was one guy that was like, this is a bad idea.
I watched a documentary about it.
I remember watching that. It was like,
and the guy who like made the original Woodstock, he was like, I don't listen to new music. I don't know new music. So he got like a recording group to like suggest a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
And they suggested like Korn and like Limp Bizkit and fucking Kid Rock. And then there was one guy who was like a young guy, and he was like, hey, like, I think this might be a bad idea. And then everyone was like, shut the fuck up, pussy, dude.
Shut up, dude. Yeah, it was the one guy that listened to music. You idiot. You don't think we know what we're doing?
Yeah, we did fucking Woodstock, bro.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Duh. Which that is crazy that they're like, I don't listen to music, but I'm just going to trust what they say. And so to go from the Summer of Love right into like to Limp Bizkit break stuff is absolutely bananas. Like, just some 65-year-old man just sitting there like, oh my gosh, like what have we done?
That's when they pulled the soundstage down. They pulled the middle soundstage down.
Yeah. They broke
fucking Fred Durst was like, we're gonna break stuff, and then there was like a soundstage like in the crowd. Like it wasn't the main stage, it was like in the crowd, and they started like just rip like people. You see the videos. There's like employees like jumping into the crowd off the soundstage while it's being torn down. And that's the picture of Fred Durst. Like they bring a big old piece of plywood like up to the stage, the crowd, and like Fred Durst like stands on top of the plywood, and then he's like singing.
Yeah. It looks like a Travis Scott concert.
Yeah.
Which they just did a documentary on the Travis Scott concert where everyone died in. I haven't seen it yet, but like
it was just one guy, I thought.
There was 7 people that died at that concert.
There was not 7 people that died.
I'm pretty sure there were
one kid.
7 people that died at that concert.
Allegedly, I thought it was just one kid. I didn't think it was 7 people.
Hold on, wait. What was it called again? It was like Astroworld?
Yes, Astroworld in Houston.
Sass Gemini. Hold on.
Yeah, ask him. I thought it was just one guy who got trampled.
How many people died at Astroworld? 10 people died.
10?
Yeah.
What?
8 people the night of the concert, and 2 more died in the hospital.
I thought it was just one guy who got trampled. That's crazy. He's got a good PR firm.
All 10 of them, yeah, I know, right? Everyone's like, I still want to go to a Travis Scott concert. How many people died at Woodstock 99?
I don't know, dude. I don't know, but dude, it went all night. And I just remember at one point, like, some guy went down, and Fatboy Slim was like on. They had like it was at an airport. And there was like an airport hangar where Fatboy Slim was playing, and like some guy went down, and the ambulance was like going through the crowd to get him, and then like the crowd like overtook the ambulance, and then at one point just like passengers in the crowd were driving the ambulance like through the airport hangar like during Fatboy Slim, and he had to like get off stage and like leave. He like hopped in a car and like fled out of there.
Golf carts.
Yeah.
Right about
Yeah,
now is the Funk Soul Brother.
a
He's
banger, dude.
yeah.
That must have been fucking sick, dude.
Dude, what a chill ass music video too, where they're like, all right, Christopher Walken, do whatever you want. You're attached to wires.
Yeah,
And he's like, all right, I'll
it's
get
going
weird with it.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
But
always think about Kid Rock writing "Ball with the Ball." I always think if he was like in a Starbucks, he's in a Starbucks somewhere with like a
yeah,
pad
yeah, yeah.
and like a
Yeah.
pen, and he's like ball with the
Oh,
ball,
oh.
bang
But
the bang,
diggy diggy.
diggy diggy. You know
Oh.
what I mean? Like, how did you
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
think of that?
yeah, yeah. Wasn't it last week that we were like the one guy that works at the Shell gas station growing up just spoke in Kid Rock lyrics? Yeah,
Yes, he did.
about
Yeah,
badang dang diggy diggy. You're like, yes, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. So it'll
yeah.
be
I followed.
I'll take 20 unleaded. Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
wait, have you been to festivals? Like any music festivals at all?
No, I never been to any festivals.
Dang,
I was
they're
at the Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa concert where the fence fell and a bunch of people fell over the edge.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because they
like a
were
fence broke
they were
and they
rocking it
canceled the
so much,
concert.
right?
Yeah, so like it was at the like outdoor John in Jersey. So there's like the lawn area, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like a bunch of seats, and then there's the stage. So like I was like right at the front of the gate in the lawn area, maybe 5, 10 people back. And then like I guess they went off the stage and they came up on like a different stage behind the seats and right in front of the lawn area. So like everybody who was in the lawn area like ran to that
Oh
front
yeah,
like
yeah. Because they
fence.
always do that.
And and then I just remember the fence broke and then like I was like maybe 10 people back and I just see people just going over in the
Yeah.
front and like everybody like locked arms like and was like they were like brace!
Yeah.
Brace!
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It
And
was
then they're
like
like, all right, you gotta go.
you ever seen those old videos of how they got like how people got center seats at the Daytona 500? Where they would go.
No.
So back in the day, Daytona 500 was like that grass patch. There was an X amount of
Yes.
seats you could go there. It was first come, first serve. So like people would take beat up like their beat up pickup or like derby cars that they don't care if they like trash that's been like sitting in their front lawn and they all park right at the gate. And as soon as they open up, they all ram each other trying to get to the first spot to go and get
That
in there.
rules.
Yeah, it was
That
sweet.
fucking rules. Yeah. I think that's BYOB Daytona 500. I'm pretty sure you can just show up with a case of beer.
Yeah.
Just like roll into the stadium with
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like a
yeah.
30 rack.
Yeah.
No problems.
That'd be sweet, dude.
I would love to go see that one day. I could not care less about NASCAR, but I would love to go see that.
Yeah. Dude, did I tell you when I went to Warp Tour, the lead singer at Metro Station, he basically was like, fuck you to me, like specifically.
Why?
So the so at Warp Tour that year, that was up in the Poconos. The main stage was split in two. So the right side of the stage would be playing, and the left side of the stage would be setting up. So when the right side's finished, then the band on the left side gets to go. So the left side band was this one called This Wildlife. They were like kind of acoustic. I liked them. And the next one after that was this band called Neck Deep, which I really liked at the time too. And so This Wildlife finished. I went there and I said, I'll stay here because Neck Deep's coming up next. Now, This Wildlife, their fan base was like, I don't know, 13-year-old, like scene girls, basically like alt girls that yeah, they had like cat ears and furry tails and they thought they were like really deep
Yes.
lyrics and all that jazz. It was great. Not a really tall bunch. And I'm like 6'3" at the time, standing in. I probably had a bucket hat on in the middle of the crowd. So I was like a weed sprouting out through like the grass. Like I stood out like a sore thumb. And on the other side of the stage was Metro Station playing, right? And I was like, I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna watch Metro Station because they're gay. And I'm gonna wait for Neck Deep to come on. Surrounded by these short girls, and the lead singer of Metro Station's like, "We're back, baby." He's like, "You thought we were one hit wonder, but now you guys are enjoying the greatest show of your lives." And he was the tall one that's related to Miley Cyrus, covered in tattoos. And he was like, and which everyone was there just to hear you play that one song, "Shake It." Like shake, 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 a shake it.
Okay,
That one.
banger.
Yeah, banger, right? But that's their only hit. And so
Okay.
in the middle of his speech,
I
he
thought that
looks
was 311.
no, it's Metro Station. But
Damn, okay.
middle of his speech, he goes over and he looks at my side of the crowd and he goes, and to all of you guys not enjoying the greatest show of your life, and he just like flips off the crowd, but he's looking at me and he's pointing his middle finger at me and he's like, fuck you. And then I
Nice.
instinctually just went, just like that. Like I made that face like, me? And he just went, yeah, you fatty. Fuck you. and then he
He
turned around and they
destroyed it.
played Shake It by Metro Station. So I hate that song,
Bang! And
dude.
you wanna like this,
Yeah.
and you wanna like that. Ben's just crying, dude. He's just
It's like,
crying.
he just called me fat in front of everyone.
Shake, shake.
At the main stage of Warped Tour, I was so pissed. I was like, what the fuck? I
You're
was,
like, what, dude?
yeah, I was with David at the time. I was like, I'm gonna kill him. Like, I'm gonna find him in the parking lot, allegedly. And but yeah, dude, that was the time he called me just fat right in front of everybody else, and I was pretty pissed
Nice,
off,
dude.
dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
That rules.
Um.
Yeah, that was fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. That's just. Then I went and I puked in the porta potty at Warped Tour after that.
Nice.
That was it. That was pretty much it.
Nice. Good. Okay, now if we hit a dead spot, we can just circle back around to Ned Flanders' large uncircumcised penis.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
come back around to
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I looked up Overwatch because I figured there's gonna be Overwatch porn.
There's a ton of it, I think.
Yeah,
Not that I would
I
know.
did. I was unaware, dude. I didn't even know some of them had penises, dude. Some of the chicks had penises in Overwatch. I didn't even know, dude.
Dude,
Until I
Futanari,
googled the
dude.
porn, dude. They're packing heat.
Yeah,
I think Sojourn has like a massive schlong.
it's bad when they get the gorilla porn into it too. That's tough.
Oh yeah. British gorilla makes me
Yeah.
horny for sure.
Granted, if you guys ever want to feel good about yourself, look up the penis size of a silverback gorilla. It's 2
Small.
inches. 2 inches.
Really?
Yep. As
That
long as you can beat
seems
that, you're good, guys.
that seems crazy that it's only 2 inches.
Yeah, I don't really know how they reproduce, if I'm being dead honest. But that's a question for a different. We're actually going to get an animal expert. We're getting Robert Irwin to come on our show so he can.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I just want a girl who loves me like Steve Irwin's wife loves him. She never remarried, dude.
Never once, dude.
I mean, dude, just holding it down, bro.
Wouldn't even think about it, bro.
Yeah.
She's like, I
But she
found the
probably
love
knows
of
if
my
she
life.
does, she's going to hell.
That is a good point too. Also,
Yeah,
all of
she'll burn in
Australia
hell.
would hate her. She's in the middle of
That is true,
enemy
yeah.
territory. Yeah.
If she did start hooking up with someone else, that is true. I didn't even think about that. She'd have to move. She'd have to change her name.
Change her name. She's only the most super recognizable face because she hasn't gotten a different haircut since 1999.
True.
I saw an interview recently. I was like, oh, okay. Same hair. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
She's
Makes
still
it
kind of
easy.
sexy, though, dude.
She got it for sure.
Was she Australian?
No, she's American. She legit was like,
That's what I thought.
I think
I
she
thought
was
she
there
was
on
American.
vacation. And he's like, you, right there. He's like, gonna
Dude, if a guy's
go.
got crocodiles, dude,
Yeah. He's
you
like,
gotta
"What,
give him a
like
little
this?"
toppy, dude.
Yeah. Do you think he was like, he's like got the crocodile? He's doing the show and he sees her in the crowd. He's got the crocodile in the headlock
So,
and he does a couple hip thrusts. Sometimes you got to work them in here, right? Like this.
yeah, Mary told me she wants to fuck Steve Irwin. She said that to me.
Hell
Celebrity,
yeah, dude.
if she could make sweet love to any celebrity, she said it'd be Steve Irwin.
David Steve Irwin.
Yeah,
I get it, dude. Just him and his uncupped Australian bush.
true. He's probably got a Ned Flanders, dude.
Dude, for sure. You know what, too? He'd be so classy with it. He'd let you see the kangaroos for a little bit. Let you go over to the koala
True.
exhibit and hold one. He'd probably wine and dine you. And then afterwards, he's like, all right, now we're going to go. We're going to let the crocodiles watch.
Yeah. Now that's a knife when he pulls his magic.
Yeah. Yes.
I hope Steve Irwin had a fat cock, dude.
Just a moonlight silhouette of just an 8-inch hog just coming out of his pants. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a knife right there. Dude, I guarantee he's the type of dude too that you're getting pregnant every time.
True. Strong seed with that guy. He's definitely just full of testosterone.
Yeah, there's not a single contraceptive known to man that could probably stop the crocodile hunter semen coming out of him.
Yeah, hell yeah. You ever seen the original Roadhouse with Swayze?
Yeah, I used to. It's been a long time. It's because Big Grammy used to watch it all the time whenever I was like down in the basement.
Let's
She'd
go,
always
dude. That's
have
one of the best movies of all time.
she'd have Roadhouse on or American Pie. Our 85-year-old great grandmother from West Virginia. Her favorite movie was American Pie and Roadhouse.
Dude, can't blame her, dude. That's
Yeah,
class right there.
she's great.
Dude, but I always tell Mary because, like, in the original Roadhouse, he had like that blind singer friend.
Oh yeah,
He was like a blind guy who played
yeah.
like this. He like played at the bar or whatever, and then the movie ends with him jumping naked into the creek with the girl,
Yeah, yeah.
and the blind guy is like sitting on the bank, like playing guitar. But since he's blind, like doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you
I
can't.
always
He
tell
doesn't know
Mary
what's going
that
on.
that's just the most sensual thing that anybody's ever done. Like
Yeah, yeah,
just skinny dip while a blind man plays guitar. Like
yeah. We're
gets
gonna
all
do
the
a
ladies
little
horny.
blues for you right now. Yeah, there's definitely some hand stuff going on underneath the water. If we have a blind guy playing music for us, that and
True.
Sam Elliott in that movie's hot with that hair and the mustache.
Yeah, he
He's
shows his
right.
bush at one point.
Yeah, he does. Full, I mean, granted, enormous, right? But I
No
wouldn't expect
reason.
anything else.
No reason either.
Yeah.
Like he's got like a cut on his like thigh, and he's like, "Let me show you this cut on my thigh," and
Yeah,
he
you want to see what
just
we got
pulls full
here?
bush out for no
Yeah.
reason whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Miho. Yeah.
Call me mate. Yeah, right here. I grew this Apache patch right down here. This is a homegrown, non-GMO Texas meat. Like,
Yeah, and
thanks,
he got
Sam.
canceled because they made a gay cowboy movie and he was pissed about it.
Wait, really? He didn't like Brokeback
Yeah,
Mountain?
he like it was like a newer kind of Brokeback Mountain where like all the cowboys were gay and he got pissed in like a podcast or an interview or something. He's like,
Really?
"Cowboys aren't gay." He was
They're
all
not
like
gay.
fired up about it.
Don't understand. Did
Yeah.
he? Yeah. Whereas like Willie Nelson's literally writing song ballads about how gay cowboys are.
Well, a lot of people were back in the day. We don't think about it. Samurais were gay. Spartans were
Samurais were
gay.
super gay. Yep. Every great nation
Yeah.
was built on the back of pretty gay dudes. Abraham Lincoln was secretly gay, but you didn't know that, did
That's
you?
what we're that's what we hear. Abraham Lincoln was super gay.
Yeah.
There was another president who was gay who like was never married and they called him like I don't know, they had a name for him. I forget. Maybe it was Buchanan.
called him
I
Pencil
think it might have been
Pusher.
James
Yeah.
Buchanan.
They called him
They called him something.
Meat Packer. But
Yeah.
yeah, because
Let
like
me see.
Lincoln, they're pretty positive the reason that his security was so light is because he was out about in the middle of the night with men. But like not all the time. But he liked to have low security so that if he needed to sneak away, he could go and enjoy the company of a strong man in his bed. But like
Yeah.
he like he owned a general store in Illinois for like years with his like business partner, and they both lived in the
Oh yeah.
apartment upstairs, and they only shared one bed together. But like they only shared one bed in that like thing for like 7 years, the entire time. And then he was gonna marry Todd, and his buddy was gonna move up to New York out of Illinois. So he postponed his wedding so he could spend one last like little getaway with his buddy. And then
Nice
he
guy.
got a new 19-year-old piece to come in there to basically go and help out with the store. And this kid was also a known floozy, right? And they also started sharing a bed in the apartment upstairs the entire time that he
He
ended up
shared a
working
bed
for
with multiple
Lincoln.
guys.
And then he would sneak away to his summer home when he was president. And his personal bodyguard was also a very like rumored to be gay captain who enjoyed the company of men. And it was reported that they were also sleeping in the same bed. So I don't know. I mean, there can be some
Lincoln was
Lincoln
blowing. Do you
defenders,
think
but
Lincoln was a bottom or a top, dude?
that's a
You think
well.
Lincoln was bottoming,
He
dude?
says he no. He says he never lost a wrestling match.
Oh, that is true. He
Yeah,
did never
dude.
lose a wrestling match,
Yeah,
dude.
that's a power
He
top
was
up
definitely
there.
piping down, dude.
Who
Just
got that
fucking. Oh, he
goodie?
could have been a power bottom. He could have been
Oh,
a power bottom,
that's
Lincoln.
true.
Yeah,
That's true. Who got that goodie? Who got that
yeah.
goodie? Yeah,
Oh yeah, Lake is just laying down some pipe.
yeah. And they're
Yeah, it's
saying,
crazy to think about.
yeah, but yeah, it's pretty much there's no like confirmation, but there's a ton of like there's some good evidence to be like, yeah, that's why he didn't have a ton of security, because like every once in a while he'd be like, I need a night out, and that would be him sneaking away to go and visit a friend.
But yeah, apparently James Buchanan was like people like they knew he was gay back in the day. It says James Buchanan and William Rufus King, a North Carolina senator, were rumored to have a close relationship, possibly romantic, and they were nicknamed Miss Nancy and Aunt Fancy by some contemporaries,
That's so
which is
funny.
crazy, dude.
What a
Miss
great
Nancy, dude. That's crazy.
an Aunt Fancy. That's such a good like slander name against your opponent too. It's-
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Miss Nancy. All right, let's chill out.
Yeah, but apparently like everybody knew and they just didn't care.
Dang.
Yeah. Alexander the Great had a eunuch who like
Yep.
um was like his boy, and then like when he died he went crazy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget
They
the guy's
literally.
name.
Yeah, it
But
was
yeah,
like
it's crazy.
his right hand man, and then he ended up. Didn't he like shortly die right after that, or like?
I forget what happened. I'm pretty sure he just like lost it though after the eunuch died.
Yeah.
Which back in the day is crazy. These dudes would get eunuchs, and then the eunuchs like inevitably became so smart, like because so many different times in history the eunuchs like overthrew the king.
Because they're not
Because
motivated by
like
sex.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point I'm making. That like they would chop the guy's nuts off, and then like immediately he would just become the
Like,
smartest man alive.
yeah.
It's crazy to
Yeah.
think like you
Everything
know
that's
what I
ever
mean?
clouded my thoughts is gone now. I can see so
Yeah,
clearly of what I need to
I'm
do.
so clear minded. Yeah,
That's so true.
it is crazy to think.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a really clear vision of what I need to what needs to happen, and there's literally no
Yeah,
distractions.
yeah. Apparently, it was because like he didn't want the guys like getting involved with his harem, or a lot of guys would do that because they didn't want them like fucking his bitches or whatever,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
That's pretty classic. Glad to see there were pimps back then too. I'm glad to
Although
see
if
the pimp
someone
game was
chopped my
strong
nuts
throughout
off,
history.
I would plot. I would plot for a while. I would plan my revenge immediately the second I got my nuts chopped off.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna remember you.
Yeah.
I don't even care if I'm young. Like, what was the what Italians used to do? They had castrinados. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, so they could stay
They
they
could
could
stay
hit the notes.
the high notes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they were doing it. They were doing it long enough to the point where there's still audio recordings of a couple castrinados out there.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like a yeah, we did that a couple hundred years ago scenario. It was like a within the last like 150 years, they were still like chopping off little boys' wieners.
There was rumors that Michael Jackson was a castronauta. That is
I
like they had him like medically castrated at a young age because he was such a moneymaker.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
didn't want his like voice to go down, and that was like one of the reasons why he like was so obsessed with
Little kids.
like being a child and stuff like that. Yeah.
He's pretty typical of like child abuse when you were young, for sure, especially sexual child
Yeah.
abuse when you were young, for all of like the stuff that he said and did in his later life. It's kind of like you had this trauma when you were here, so you feel like that's a large chunk of your life that's missing, and so you have to fill in that hole
Right.
with something. So I could believe it as far as it goes, considering their dad was a psychopath.
True. Yeah, it is interesting to think, but don't you think he would have tapped Macaulay Culkin? I mean, Macaulay Culkin
100% he would have tapped.
pleads his innocence to this
Mm-mm.
day. Come on, Michael Jackson.
He was
I mean, that would have been #1 hit list. Macaulay
the number
Culkin,
one. That's Michael Jackson's most wanted right there. Macaulay Culkin.
like you're telling me,
You
and he
already got
still
Corey
remains.
Feldman.
Corey Feldman said he never did anything. Corey Feldman is like a psychopath at this point,
Yeah. Why
and
do
he
you
said that
think?
Michael Jackson never did anything.
Because the King of Pop drained his talent out of him.
It's just true, but he did write a tell-all book about how Corey Haim was getting like passed around. Who was like his best friend at the time,
Yeah,
Corey
yeah.
Feldman.
Which is wild
He
for you
like
to
wrote
do
like a
that.
tell-all
Yeah.
where he's like, "Yeah, dude, this guy was getting totally fucked," and then in the book he's like, didn't touch me
Didn't
though," and
touch
I'm like,
me. Didn't even. Yeah. Wait a
yeah,
second. Yeah. It's like it was a ton of detail about how everyone around him was getting it, and he's like, but then magically I was spared, and you're like, nah, there's no way, Corey. Nice try,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Macaulay Culkin would have been. That's ground zero for you. That's the grand prize. That's like for
That's
real.
what I mean. Like, yeah,
That's
I don't know. It's hard
Atlantis.
to believe.
That's the Holy Grail. That's what everyone like. That's the Philosopher's Stone. What you're working to achieve. The greatest child actor of all time.
Did you ever hear him on Rogan?
I don't think
Macaulay
so.
Culkin. Rogan was like, "Oh, so like you're like a recovering addict," and Macaulay Culkin was like, "No, dude, like I had an eating disorder. Like I was never into drugs ever." And then
Yeah.
yeah,
Wait a second.
and I don't know if I believe him, but how funny is it that Rogan was like, "Oh, so yeah,
Oh,
you're an
sorry.
addict."
Why don't you tell me
Yeah,
more about your addiction? Yeah, I'm sure that was really hard to get over. Why don't you tell
Rogan
everyone
has no
about this?
emotions, dude. He has no emotions. Just like when he had Adam Sandler on, he was like, "Dude, I see Chris Farley." And that guy was fucked
Yeah,
up. He was
yeah,
like
yeah.
on the brink of death, dude. He looked terrible.
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler's like,
Yes, I
and
will.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm like, Rogan, chill, bro.
Dude.
Chill. He's like, no, he looked like shit, dude. He looked terrible. I'm like, yo, Rogies, dude,
Yeah.
read the room here,
It's his
brother.
best friend that you're making fun of that died.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can, yeah, you gotta chill
yeah,
out just a little bit, homie.
yeah. He has no emotions, dude. He's completely
Yeah, I
emotionless,
get
Rogan.
it. Yeah. And what did I just watch? I watched this Bernie episode recently, and that was the first podcast of his I
Yeah, I
watched
listened to that.
in a while. Because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm close to 30, but I like Bernie. I don't agree with everything
I
he
love
says,
Bernie. Big Bernie, bro.
but it's like,
Dude, they started battling at the end.
yeah, I do remember that. I was like, why is
I
he?
did that. Bernie, I'm like, dude, Bernie, come on, bro.
You're better than this, dude.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like, come on, like, they can't be releasing fake polls, like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
When they
yeah,
said that
yeah,
they lied about like who,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I did love everything that Bernie said up until that. I've always been a huge Bernie guy. Like, they
yeah,
fucked him. I don't want to get
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
political, but
No, for
like,
sure.
they fucked him. They fucked Bernie.
What are we
Bernie was my
doing?
guy, bro.
Yeah,
He's
it's
the
the
longest independent politician of all time, dude.
yeah. It's just like when I
Crazy.
see pictures of him getting arrested with Martin Luther
Yeah, in the
King
'60s.
for the same stuff
Yeah,
that he's talking about now. Like I'm like, oh, this is a guy that like really believes in what
yeah,
he's
standing
saying
on
because
business.
he's been saying it since the 60s. The same thing of we just need to do X, Y, and Z and like it's gonna resolve that. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, look, this guy actually saying unless unlike I don't know, like
and then the primaries
politicians.
came around that year when they like went with Hillary. The primaries came around and Hillary literally got knocked out first, and then Bernie won by like a landslide.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "All right, so who are we going with?" And then the Democrats were like, "We're gonna go with the
I'm gonna go,
lady who everyone thinks is a
yeah,
murderer."
yeah, because
And you're like,
I don't want to
"But that's
die.
a bad idea, I think." And then the Democrats are like, "I think we're gonna go with the murderer
Yeah,
lady."
yeah.
Yeah.
Where
And
Bernie's
you're like,
like,
"Well, what about this guy over here who everybody likes and
yeah.
he's got a strong chances?" And they're like, "I think
Yeah, but
murderer."
we're not
You
gonna
know what I mean?
be as rich if we go with him because he
Yeah.
wants to cut off all of our sponsors. So that is
Is his spouse best friends with Epstein?
mm, I
I
don't
think
think so.
not. And
Yeah.
I took a couple vacations the last 10 years, so
Yeah.
I know who I'm voting
Yeah.
for.
Would you
You know
rather
what I
go
mean?
to a hill? Would you rather go to a freak off where the Clintons are invited or a freak off where Bernie's invited?
Yeah.
I know what freak offs I'd rather go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally is like, yeah, I just don't want corporations to sponsor and fund politicians, which I'm like, yes, that would solve so many
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, and also, why are we the only first world country that doesn't have universal health care, where we could have the greatest
Yeah.
universal health
And I'm like,
care?
everybody I think agrees on that one,
Yeah,
man.
he's like, yeah, like when he says that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, Walmart makes more money than Portugal, and Portugal, you pay $20 to go to the doctors, and the doctor still makes like it makes like $250,000 a year. It's still a great
Yeah.
job. So
And his plan was to tax 0.01% of all stock
yes,
trades, like not
yeah,
raise income tax, not raise local or state
yeah,
taxes. He's like, we're just gonna tax 0.01% of all
of
stock
stock
trades,
trades.
and then that'll pay for our free healthcare. And
Yeah, yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
like, "You
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dumbass!
You
Shut the
dumbass.
fuck up, dude."
It literally was like he's like, you know how much money we need to achieve this? He's like, if it's a giant block of cheese, I need to shave off a slice off the top, and we could
Yeah.
do, we we could fix this whole thing. And they're like, shut the hell
And then
up,
they're like, "I
man.
can't believe we lost.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
we
How
lose?
do we
It
lose?
makes no sense." I'm
Yeah,
like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
yeah.
They're like, we talking about the lady who like shoots people twice and then like hangs them afterwards. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I can't believe
exactly.
she lost.
Yeah.
Like, what, bro?
Kim Kardashian endorsed her. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Ah.
You're telling me Taylor Swift's endorsement didn't get her all the votes?
Oh my gosh.
We're ruining us. And they fucking wiped the table off.
It's so much harder to eat my zucchini noodles now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, there's some flawed,
good
fatal mistakes. Fatal mistakes there.
I think that's why, like, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be blasting him because it's the same thing of like he's an outlier, so both sides of the media are going to make fun of him. But like the New York City mayor that just got
Oh, I heard about
elected.
this guy. Yeah.
What do I
Yeah,
think?
the socialist dude.
Yeah, I think a lot of his ideas are pie in the sky, where he's like subsidized apartment rent and all that jazz, and
Yeah,
he's got some.
Dude, it's literally free ice cream at the cafeteria.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah,
when the class president is like, free ice cream at the cafeteria, and it never happens. I'm like, all right,
2-hour recess. Yeah,
yeah, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, none of this shit's ever happening, bro.
Yeah, but I think everyone's like literally like it was the Brooklyn came out. He won Brooklyn by a landslide, especially like people in our age demographic and mostly college educated people. But it literally was like people being like, yeah, like it's a lot of it's fluff for sure. I think he can follow up on all of it. No, but it's something different. And he isn't being like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit Israel like as soon as I'm like elected. That was the weirdest question ever. Where they're like, did you see the debate that ended up happening?
No, with him and Cuomo.
Yeah, where they asked,
and I stand by Cuomo, dude. So he likes to play some grab ass. He's Italian, dude.
Yeah,
best excuse ever, dude.
Help it.
He's like, yeah. They're like, dude, so you've been sexually inappropriate in the workplace? He's like, I'm Italian.
What are you talking about?
Like,
we chase our
what?
secretaries around the desk. That's what we do.
This is what we do. I'm Italian.
It's not my fault.
So I grab a couple titties every once in a while.
Wait, you think I hired the 25-year-old secretary for nothing? Look at her. She
has no credentials.
She was a
general She doesn't even have a degree.
Major. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
She's here so I can grab her ass.
She worked at the bodega that I went to every day.
Yeah.
And now
ever seen the video of some guy calls him Fredo and he freaks out?
Really?
He actually gets a slur, like some guy on the street calls him Fredo. It was like the retarded one in The Godfather.
Hey, what the fuck?
He's like, me? I'm like, bro, relax, dude.
Yeah, which it's
a fucking movie, dude. It's not even real, bro.
It's an Italian slur. They have no weight anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It means nothing to anybody.
Yeah, this is coming from us who are half WAP. Anyway.
Yeah, we're half Italians. And one time my grandpa said to me, he said, we used to be the Mexicans. That's what he said. And probably the most liberal thing that's ever came out of his mouth. Yeah. I don't even think he realized how liberal he was. But he was like, they used to look down on us. Yeah. And they used to tell us to get out of the country. Yeah. And I'm like, I think he doesn't realize the point he's making.
Yeah. He's like, that's so interesting. Who'd you vote for again?
Yeah.
That's because he literally like when he was a kid, they were like Italians are black, and everyone's like yes.
Yeah. They're like yes.
They're like yes. Okay, perfect. Oh, but oh fudge, dude. The question that they asked Cuomo was like, and it was the debate. There was like 5 other like debaters, and they were just like, so what's the first place you're gonna visit as soon as you get elected mayor? And it was very much like there's a right and wrong answer to this. And it was like, everyone's like, Israel. And they're like, well, I'm going to go to the Holy Land to visit Israel. And then Cuomo was like, yes, of course. Like, I've been there 7 times. I'm going to go there again. I get it because, like, I'm sure the rich Jewish neighborhoods are big endorsers for a lot of stuff that they're doing. There, right. Like, I get it. That's to make a certain demographic of people that probably give you a lot of money during your campaign happy. But then, like, fudge, what's his name? The new mayor. He's just like, I'm gonna stay in New York and not go there. And Cuomo's like, oh, you hear that? He's like, he's not going, doing it. He's like,
this fucking pussy.
He's like, look at this loser over here. He must hate Israel on top of it. And
he's I'm gonna stay in New York.
I'm not gonna go to the Holy Land. No, it's a weird ass question. Why? What is the right answer to this?
Yeah, he's got some wild beliefs. So he wants to make New York City subways free,
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, have you ever been on the New York City subway?
it
There's a homeless man jerking off in every other car, and then we're gonna
yeah,
take away the $2 barrier to entry to get on that train car.
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be unlimited homeless men jerking
Jerking
off
off
on
on
the
a
fucking.
train.
It's gonna be Michael Jackson impersonators on every car, bro. There's gonna be. It's gonna
Yeah.
be crazy.
And the homeless people jerking off, don't give up their seat if you had a long day. Okay.
Yeah,
If you say, "Can I
especially not the
sit there?"
pregnant
They're
ladies.
not getting up. Definitely not the pregnant ladies on top of it. But
Yeah.
that's a dumb idea. I don't know any major city that's like, yes, we should have free, free trains. It's like an unlimited money hack for you.
Yeah.
You might need to upgrade your train system so people can stop jumping the dials. That's probably a big thing for you to do. Or it's
Yeah. He's
like,
like, no, I'm gonna defund the police and replace them with social workers. I'm
yeah,
like, dude.
what are you doing?
And then we're gonna make the trains free. What do you think they're gonna do down
Yeah,
there, bro?
yeah,
They're gonna be like,
literally.
have you considered therapy? And it's just some homeless man
Yeah.
just cranking down.
Yeah, that's the sign right above him. as,
Yeah.
as you see his plastic tarp shaking up and down on the train.
They're like, it's a mental health issue.
Yeah,
We
what are
can't
we
arrest
doing?
this man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same as the
My favorite
NFL.
homeless man is the Jack Black guy who tweaks on meth and just works out facing the wall.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Just like
yeah,
just like absolutely tweaking, not facing anybody,
yeah.
facing the wall, entirely shirtless. That's the best kind of
A
homeless
great
guy, in
one.
my opinion.
In Philadelphia used to have
Yeah.
a great one, the lipstick lady, where she had. You ever see her? She would park outside the Hard Rock Cafe, and she had trash bags filled with clothes. Who knows how she got them, but she made like a fort out of these trash bags. And then there was a little opening in the middle of it, and she would just peek her head through of this trash bag fort. And then she had lipstick that like would start here on her lips, and then it would just like go squinkle all over her face. And then she would just
Nice,
like a
dude.
bird sticking its head out of its nest, would just like look around and then just go back into its perch. That lady was good. That
Nice.
was
There was Flips, who was a Philly legend, who was a crackhead who would walk around and like frat row.
oh, you can
And
do flips
I
for
I
money,
forget
right?
if it was $1 or $5 or whatever, but he would do a backflip off your like
Yeah.
porch if you like gave him $5 or whatever.
Good for him, dude.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
You ever seen the crackhead throwing competition where it's like two jack guys in the hood and they're like doing like an Olympic game where they like throw crackheads as far as they can? Just super muscular guys and then just fucking chucking crackheads
Yeah.
like 30 feet. That's the best.
Dang.
But yeah, no, I miss when Rogan would. I think Rogan watched that. I think that's where I seen that on there. When he would let it fly, before he was worried about getting sued, it was the best Rogan.
Yeah. Did he recently the Liver King thing that happened 2 days ago? Did you hear
Yeah,
about
Liver
that?
King said he was gonna like kill him or something.
Yeah, it was man, it was like he posted a bunch of videos about how he wanted to fight Joe Rogan, and he said it enough with enough videos where he was holding guns while he was doing it. He's like, "I'll destroy you, Joe Rogan," as he's like golden plated AR-15s. That somebody got a little concerned and called the cops
And then
on him.
he got arrested.
Yeah, dude. For I guess
Yeah, that's
threat.
crazy.
I think it was like, all right, like 10 videos. That's the limit. But you just made number 11. But he's also 100% on meth.
Oh
So
yeah, you think he's tweaking now?
because like the second he got out of, because they like brought him in for the initial court hearing and like the processing, and then he got to go home with an ankle monitor, and so
I did see the fucking picture of him, and he looked rough,
yeah,
bro.
he's got like scratches all over his face, like the meth scratch, and
He looked
he
tweaked.
immediately, like after getting out of prison, this was all yesterday that I watched. He immediately went right back to making videos of how he's going to fight Joe Rogan, which I'm sure his lawyer was
Nice.
like, "Stop saying that."
Oh, that
Yeah,
didn't work out
yeah,
for Tiger King.
yeah. No, literally,
You
like
know.
he made 5 videos yesterday just to be him like, and he's talking super fast, like he's on meth. He's like,
Yeah, he's tweaking
and
clearly.
it's not making sense. Half the time he's like,
It's not
okay,
cocaine, like it's meth. You can tell when they
yeah,
stop making sense. You could tell it's meth. Like
yeah,
cokeheads, like they still make sense. They rambling for sure. The rambling is nonstop, but it's still coherent rambling.
The words are piecing
But
together still.
yeah, but when it's meth, it's like yeah, they're just
Yeah.
done.
It is funny because for half the videos he forgot it was Joe Rogan because he was so methed out. He thought it was Seth Rogen. So half the videos are him
That
saying how
rules.
much he wants to fight Seth Rogen. So
And
like
Seth Rogen's like,
literally,
whoa.
whoa. Yeah. But I guarantee his lawyer was like trying to get him on the phone the entire night, probably tying a noose around his neck, waiting to kick the stool out from under him. Just being like, Liver King, I just told you one more time, buddy. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
We're never gonna win this case.
There
And
was
then
a UFC guy. Oh, wait, what were we saying there?
well, no, and then he ended the night with him taking his dogs for a walk, but he wanted to take his
Nice.
dog for a walk in front of the state capitol in Austin, and so
Mm.
he like goes up there and the gates are closed, but there's kind of just like a little bar for like cars to go up and under when you pay the toll, but it's all like shut down. He goes, yeah, whatever, we're gonna start walking here anyway, and so he just goes underneath the gate and walks his dog there, and it's just like, oh, cool, we're gonna tack on a trespassing charge on top of like what you're already doing, but we're gonna capture it all on camera. Not Instagram. The dude just is like up
Fucking dummy.
anything off Instagram.
Yeah, he's got to be tweaking.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Maybe he's just getting a little sniffy of the meth. I don't know.
Smistle Smethany.
Yeah, taking a little bump ski of the ice.
Yeah.
Ice, baby.
That'd be good.
But, dude, there's a UFC guy who was arrested
John
recently
Jones.
for the 12th time. No, a
Yeah.
different guy, Damon Blackshear.
Oh, I didn't see that
No,
one.
seriously, a different guy, yeah. Damon Blackshear, he's been arrested 12 times, and he was just arrested again. And
For
he was
what?
let out on bond. I think it might have been a B&E or something. I don't know, but he's a criminal. I mean, if you look at his charges, like yeah. But he was let out on bond, and then the UFC booked him for a fight this Saturday.
Really?
But he couldn't get in front of a judge to get his ankle monitor off to go work beforehand, which I thought was hilarious.
So did he fight with the ankle monitor on?
No, it's happening tomorrow. They canceled the fight because he
Okay.
couldn't see a judge first. But dude, how funny is that the UFC's like, yeah, man, get in here,
sure,
dude.
whatever. Yeah, you ready to
You're out
fight,
on
dude?
bond, bro. Yeah,
It's
he
literally
probably needs the money.
it's Dana White being like, one of my boys. They're like, you will fight for me. I own you, boy.
Yeah, but no, John Jones did recently get arrested too. You heard about that?
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna get $1 million from Dana White, and then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna crash my car with a naked lady in the passenger seat
Yeah,
again for the
and then
second time,
flee.
and then I'm gonna run away from the scene of the crime again.
Which is the move if you get a DUI, by the way.
100%.
Abandoning the scene of a crime is actually a way less charge than DUI.
DUI.
Yeah, but
It also wasn't his car. I think it was her car too. Which he's like, maybe there's a slim chance. I know I'm probably the most like famous person in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but maybe I could get away from this and not notice. As a
yeah, and he was like on
6'9"
mushrooms
giant,
and he was drunk.
yeah,
Apparently.
yeah. John Jones is hiding in your backyard from the cops.
But he retired, right? So
Yeah.
apparently, Dana announced his retirement Saturday night after the fights, which was the most boring fight card in UFC history. I mean, it was the longest fight card in UFC history.
Really?
There was one KO, the rest were decisions, and
That
then there
one
was one
decision.
submission.
Who was
Every single other fight in the entire fight card went to decision. The fight that there was a KO in, that was actually a sick fight, but every single other fight on the entire card stunk. I mean, the Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Why is my fucking battery running low? I'm plugged in here.
Go.
Wait, give me a second. Give me a
Is that a WNBA shirt you're wearing?
Dude, yeah, you sexist piece of shit.
That's insane. Good for you.
Dude, do I have a WNBA shirt just so I can
Who's
call
on
people
it?
sexist?
Yeah.
Dude, it's the Aguima. You don't know the Aguima K sisters, bro?
Oh, my bad.
How dare
my
you,
bad.
dude?
They
How
have
do you
their
not know the
stats up
Aguima K
there?
sisters, you fucking sexist piece of shit,
Well,
bro?
apparently one sucks at 3-pointers.
How fucking dare you, dude? Fucking piece of shit, dude. How do you sleep at night, bro? But, yeah, so that fight was sick, actually. Dana gave them both $100,000.
The Khalil Roundtree,
because it was
I
sick.
like Khalil Roundtree.
No, not Khalil Roundtree.
Okay,
that fight was. I like Khalil a lot because he's a former fatty.
Yes,
so I'm a big fan.
I want to know what performance enhancing drugs he's on that he keeps passing the test. But I really like Khalil.
He does do his training camps in Thailand, so it might be hard for them to get someone out there. That's one of the rumors. That's why he goes out there.
Yeah,
because I don't know.
That's sweet.
But I'm a big fan of Khalil because he was a big old fatty. But the fight that got the $100,000, the one dude, like he was an underdog. He rocked the favorite in the first round, and then he emptied the tank, like just absolutely emptied the tank. He threw a 75 punch combination, dude. It was crazy.
And the guy
75
didn't get
punches
knocked out?
straight, dude. And the guy was just like slept, like dodging him, and the other guy was like,
Oh, man, I'd be so pissed, dude. I'd be so mad.
And then it went into the second round, and the guy who like threw the combination was so gassed that the favorite just fucking slept.
No,
But dude, it was a sick fight. But the reason I brought that up is because after that fight Saturday, Dana announced John Jones' retirement. Right?
Yeah.
He said that John Jones called him up on Friday and said that he was retiring. And apparently the fight was booked between John Jones and Tom Aspinall. Like, it was already booked. Tom said he was just waiting for a date or whatever. And then Saturday, Dana says John Jones retires. And then Sunday, the John Jones mushroom thing comes out.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the plan was to do the fight, but then they knew, like the publicist or whatever knew that this story was going to come out
that Jones
on
was
Sunday.
Get in trouble.
So then he was just like, all right, I'm just going to fucking wrap it up.
That's
you know?
That's 100%.
I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's got to be what happened. You know what I mean?
That's definitely you know what that is? That's Michael Jordan saying he's retiring the same time
And playing baseball.
And playing baseball the same time that headlines were coming out that he was betting on his own.
He was gambling on games. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they're like, and then the NBA was like, we're not going to announce your suspension. Maybe just go play some minor leagues.
Go play for 2 years,
you know what I mean?
which is the exact you would be suspended for, and then come back. Yeah,
yeah. Just like they're like, yeah, so what? LeBron's 40 years old and he's hitting reverse windmill dunks. He's not on anything.
No,
you know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
We test him every week, dude. He's fucking natty, dude.
There's a
40-year-old man fucking behind the back jamming. I'm like, okay, bro.
All right.
I've never seen a 40-year-old man move like that in my fucking life, dude. Just jamming on 23-year-olds. Like, what are we doing here? They're like, he's natty, I swear.
What are you talking about? You guys are being ridiculous. To think he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, come on. Chill.
Yeah, man. And then I like how Jordan gets banned for 2 years for gambling, in the NBA, but then Plaxico Burress shoots his dick off in a nightclub and gets banned for life in the NFL.
Yeah, they're like, see you later. I know you won the Super Bowl, but
that's enough punishment as is that you blew the tip of your penis off with your own 9mm at a nightclub because you were wearing.
Dude, and it was an unregistered gun.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like we talked about last week, John Morant can fucking just every picture he can just be holding guns, dude. I don't know what the fuck is going on, dude.
Or like Michael Vick owned like a 7-county dog fighting ring, and the NFL was like, all right, you're gonna have to take a year off, bud, and then you can come back. Yeah. And
then they gave him an announcing job, which is hilarious. Like the other day I was watching or last season I was watching like the post game, and it was Ray Lewis and Michael Vick at the post game. I was like, all right, guys, I guess we're just letting it slide now.
Everything that just happened, that's okay.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's insane. But okay, I guess we're just gonna let that one slide.
Yeah. And like, if you're an NFL, like, how much of a degenerate do you have to be dogfighting on the side? Like, bro, you have so much money in the bank.
Yeah,
like, what are we doing here
in the NFL? It's not like you were hurting for
You're
money.
doing that for the love of the game.
For the love of the game, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got no skin in the game.
You're doing that to get it out of your system.
Just killing dogs, I guess. I don't know. I got nothing.
He was so athletic. He hadn't played baseball since I think it was junior high. Maybe it was freshman year of high school.
Who? Michael Jordan?
Michael Vick. He was so fast with his 40 time that by the time he was entering the NFL, the Colorado Diamondbacks, they were forming as a team, and they said, what if we try to recruit this guy that wants to go to the NFL to go and play for our baseball team just so he can steal bases because his 40 times that fast. That's how that's how good of an athlete Michael Vick was, and he still was like, I'm gonna train Rottweilers to fight and kill each other on the side. Yeah.
And I'm gonna bury him in my backyard. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I wanted 12 acres in the woods around Atlanta just because I like the scenery. No other reason.
Yeah, it's absolutely psychotic. Stuff they'll let him slide with. Same with Shohei Ohtani. They're like, dude, it was his manager who was placing all those bets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally, like his first season hadn't even started, and they were like, "It's his manager that's doing it."
They're like, "Come on!" Meanwhile, Pete Rose is like, "What the fuck, man?
What's going on?"
They're like, "Burn hell, Pete Rose! It was his manager."
Yeah.
They're like, "No fame for you, bitch."
Yeah.
Dude,
Shohei, everyone in the Japanese league was like, he has a gambling going to get worse. And like Major League Baseball was like, no, he'll shape up as soon as he gets here, I promise. Anyway, here's like, more money than you've ever seen in your entire life. Dude, good for his manager.
I looked into some of his bets too. Yeah, take the hit, dude. You got it, bro. You got to maze that Puff Daddy gunshot and just go to jail. Just take it on the chin.
Dude,
I mean, your family's set for life, dude.
I'd hook you up. If I was him, I'd be like, hey, dude, $5 million right here on the table. Go. I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, do it.
Dude, and here's my new plan for jail, dude. If I was ever going to go to jail, I would just learn card tricks.
Yeah.
I would just learn some magic tricks, dude. They would not get anywhere near me, dude. I do a couple magic tricks, dude. They're fucking running for the hills, bro. Dude, you're safe, dude. If you can fucking learn how to pick a card, bro, out of a deck of cards,
yeah.
Dude, you'll rule that place, bro, instantly.
Is that a shank in your hand? And you're like, guess again. And they look down. It's just like, it's just a Vienna sausage in their hand. You've got their shank now. No way.
White boy crazy. But dude, actually,
imagine Oz the Mentalist goes into jail.
No, he did. I listened to him on.
Did he really?
I listened to him on Rogan. Yeah, I listened to him on Rogan, and he was talking about how he like went to a Spades game and like was like, "Let me get the cards," and then he was just like, "Fucking." Did you see him on Rogan recently?
No. I saw just the last clip of him. Like everyone made a clip on YouTube.
At the end,
Rogan gets stunned by what Oz the Mentalist does.
Dude, it was crazy, and it was like Joe Rogan will roll the dice 3 times. We'll flip the coin 3 times. He will guess it incorrect 3 times. He will insist on flipping the coin a 4th time, in which case he will get that one wrong as well. He wrote that down before he went in there. And then in the beginning of the show, he asked Joe Rogan to like pick a fight. Or to pick a fighter. And then whether or not it was a fight that he won or lost, and he was like, Joe Rogan will pick Anderson Silva in a fight that he won.
Yeah, that was
and he wrote that. It's like, how does he know that shit, bro?
I don't know, dude.
That's crazy. He guessed his fucking debit card numbers, bro.
Like, he did that to Shane Gillis, dude.
Like, how do you fucking do that shit, dude? That's crazy. Imagine being that guy's wife, dude. You'll never win an argument, bro. You'll never win an argument. I knew you were going to bring
up that fight that we had back in 2006.
Right? yeah. You think I didn't see that coming?
You didn't?
Do we want to talk about your search history?
Yeah.
Right here. You think you deleted your history on your Safari account?
Yeah.
Well, I know. Yeah.
I already know that you bought 2 plane tickets to go to the Swingers Convention down in Corpus Christi. I'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're never...
Yeah, imagine being in an argument with that guy. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, he's like, you have a small erection.
I wonder if he knows that people are, like, closeted. Like,
100%.
He's like, this is a gay guy.
Yeah.
You're like, what? He's like, no, I swear. I can tell. You're like, what?
You are gay. I would believe him. If somebody went up to me and was like, you're actually gay, I'd be like, whoa, he's never wrong. I can't. What am I supposed to do about this?
How does the CIA like not use that guy, dude? After I seen that episode, I was like,
I feel like
gotta figure that out.
He could win any interrogation. Like you could get like some terrorist, and he'd be like, "I'll never tell you where the bombers are hidden," and Oz would just like slide, and he's like, And he's like, "You already hit him underneath this tower," and he's like, "Oh my gosh, he's so good. He's so good."
He's
at
like
what
that
he
one
does.
guy who like convinced the whole family to suck his cock. In that,
the one in Pocatello.
That guy must have had some Oz powers, dude. He must have been like,
that's exactly.
The dad's like, I went to confront him and I ended up jerking him off. That must have been Oz. How dare you do that to my daughter? And then he's like, but you want to do it too? And he's like, I do.
That's so funny. Put an Uno reverse card on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's got to be fucking crazy.
Did you ever see the David Blaine video of him in Harrison Ford's house?
Yes. Which one is that? The frogs?
No, it's the one in the orange where he's just like Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is too old for magic tricks because he's like, it's not like, oh, that's funny. It's like, get the hell away from me. Like,
he's like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, that's literally because he's like, what's your card? Is it the 9 of spades? And he's like, yeah, and he's like, see that fruit bowl on your counter? He's like, grab the orange third from the top and peel it open. And there's like his card inside of it. And then Harrison,
He's like, what the
he,
fuck?
he just he looks at me and just goes, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. You think Oz knows that people have uncircumcised penises?
Yeah,
Like he can
yeah.
just tell just by looking at you if you have an
He's
uncircumcised
like,
penis.
yeah. Better.
He like just goes up to chicks. He's like, those are fake.
Those are fake.
He's like, I can tell.
Yeah.
I know they're fake.
50 cc's
He's
of
like, and it's a
silicone pump in
BBL.
here. Look at that. Yeah, literally. He watches Love Island and just points out everything. Like,
Yeah.
those freckles unreal. They're tattooed onto her. She's had 6 nose jobs there. Probably from child abuse.
She was clearly a stripper.
Yeah. Yeah, which, by the way, the one girl, Huda, on Love Island is 100% a stripper.
No, yeah, I seen
She's
them.
like, I live in Miami. I am in between jobs. Right now, I
That's a
have a
confirmed thing.
daughter. Yeah. And then everyone's like, you're a
That's
stripper,
confirmed.
right?
I'm
And
pretty
she's
sure
like, yes,
online.
I'm a stripper.
And then the one chick looks like Jigsaw.
Yeah, I know the new one.
The new chick.
Yeah,
Have you seen that? Oh,
yeah,
it's so
yeah.
brutal,
And
dude.
she's like
She's getting
21.
eviscerated
What are
online.
you
I
doing,
know,
girl?
dude. That's brutal, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And then
She looks so
what's
beat.
his face? Ace was like he took off his blindfold after the kissing contest, and he goes, "Oh, cool."
He's
And
like,
I'm like, "Ooh,
oh,
ooh, ooh." It's like,
oh
yeah,
yeah. He's like,
I like your vibe,
nice.
girl. Like, girls, if a guy ever says, "I like your vibe," and
I
that's the
like your
first
vibe.
compliment,
Yeah.
that's not a good scenario for you. It's
That's like when they talk about a white player in the NFL and they're like, he's got a lot of
he's
heart.
got he
They're
gives
like,
it
he might not be a
110%.
yeah, he might not be athletic, but he's got a
He's
lot
got
of heart.
yeah,
And you're like, all right,
yeah,
so he's a white guy.
yeah. That's it's the equivalent of when you go on a blind date and you ask what her friend looks like, and she goes, she has a great personality, and you're like,
Yeah.
ah, great, yeah. Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
how
I'm sorry, keep going.
no, what were you gonna say?
I just want to know when it's gonna get full circle back to Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders uncircumcised wiener.
Yeah, yeah,
Just an
it'll,
absolute anteater, dude.
yeah, it's gonna happen.
Howdly doodly, dude. Fucking pulling that thing out.
Yeah, that's why the devil gave you his curly hair.
Ah, absolute classic.
Classic. How do they do?
Are we at the time? Are we in deep enough?
Yeah, we're at an hour 17.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're good, dude. Knocked it out of the park.
Unless you want to do another 30 on Ned Flanders uncircumcised penis.
Yeah, that's actually we're gonna save that for the Patreon episode.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're gonna
Show
go
it.
into detail, girth. We're gonna look at photos.
It was a big yellow wiener.
Yeah, it's enormous. The fur on it goes farther up the shaft than you'd expect.
Yeah, the Irish groundskeeper has a fucking hog too. I guarantee I can Google that.
Groundskeeper Willie.
Groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's packing heat.
yeah. I was wrestling wolves before you were suckling at your mother's teat. You're like, ooh. He's got to be the character. I feel like there would be more Rule 34 for like groundskeeper Willie than it would be Ned Flanders. Like if you would rather have someone pin you down, I'd rather have the strong
True.
Scotsman than the secretly closeted like Christian to go and put me down. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
was Jack Diesel. He was
Yeah.
Jack Diesel for sure.
The Willie the groundskeeper.
Absolute
Well,
classic.
classic. All right, man. Only highbrow conversations coming up here for the new and
Let's
improved
go.
Bricked Up podcast. We're doing it.
Yes.
Let's
Let's go.
rebrand. We're gonna rebrand if it's gonna get us more views. That's what we're gonna do.
Let's go.
It's not like I have an Instagram page that gets 40 million views a month, and every post has a caption of "Listen to our podcast," and we don't get any views.
And no one
No one
listens to that
listens.
shit, bro. What the fuck?
I know. I need to start posting clips from the podcast on the page.
Yeah, but if it hurts your numbers, don't do it. I don't want to affect that.
Oh no, it'll be good. I know Instagram enough to. We'll be fine.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're good. The bricked up posts are keeping the lights on for sure. I get paid off the big bricked up posts. I don't get paid off the
Oh, that's
reels, so I have
clutch.
to be more careful with the bricked up posts than I do the reels.
Ah,
So
okay.
That's why I make 2 a day. You're welcome, everyone. My phone is full of screenshots. But
Let's fucking go.
also, shout out to Spilt caffeinated chocolate milk.
Oh,
I don't know, dude. 0 grams of sugar, 3 carbs total, 20 grams of protein, 100 milligrams of caffeine. This is the farthest thing from God you could probably buy at a gas station right here.
let's go. I love it.
Yeah, no product placement. Okay, anyway, dude. I'm gonna make dinner and then I'm gonna play Chivalry 2 after I make dinner.
Hit me up.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Hell yeah. Shoot me a text, yo. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it, dude. Okay.
All right. Peace out, motherfucker.
Peace out, bro. Bye bye bye.
Bye.